Well, hello, world. I almost said Facebook world, yet this is going into multiple spots. So here we are. We find ourselves at the end of a wonderful Tuesday. And again, Hank missed lunch. Why? Because he was pouring into the people that he cares about. And we were back to back to back. And I wanted to come back and visit the success code and go a little bit deeper in how it pertains specifically to maybe if you're at EXP. And one of the cool things that we're doing is we're now developing. It's not theory. Like, we have proof now of how things work, and this is where it gets exciting because now it's duplicatable. So when we look at the success code, and let's say that you're new to EXP, you're not new to real estate. However, you're new to the company and you're excited, but you're a little bit overwhelmed. You're not 100% focused on rev share. It's got your eye. You're not 100% focused on stock. It's got your eye. Yet you're just your typical, I'm going to say 80 to 90% of our agents, meaning you might not be the top 1% of the 1% that's just going to go 100 miles per hour. So let's just assume if you're watching this, you're not of the top 1% of the 1%. However, over time, you've been able to figure out everything that you do and you've been successful at it. That's who I'm talking to. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down how this speaks to you if you're newer to EXP. Well, first thing that I want you to do is come over here, and I just want you to focus on attraction. Now, there's 3 phases to this. The first phase is attraction. Now, we've heard that word a lot, attraction, and I'm going to give you the other 2 phases so that you can kind of see where I'm going with this. The second phase is pursuing. You don't pursue until you're done with phase 1 because that's where you puke all over people. Now, if you're watching this and you're not with EXP, let me be the first to apologize. If you've been puked all over, and maybe it's been me, about EXP, they're generally good people. They generally want to help you. And they're probably not much different than you were when you went and got your first listing. You were well-intended, but you didn't know what you didn't know. And so if you're brand new to the company, here's what I'm going to encourage you to do. Just attract. And if somebody reaches out to you about EXP, reach out to one of us, because phase 3 is this: recruit to retain. Do yourself a favor. Say, hey, I'd love to tell you, I know why I came internally. I feel it. However, how about I get somebody that can probably help you understand it at a greater level and get us in front of them? See, because we're going to help you recruit them to retain you. Now, see the difference there? We're going to recruit them to retain you. See, I'm not recruiting anybody. Now, here's the difference, I believe, between attraction, pursuing, and recruiting to retain. When I was a team leader at my old company, I had to go recruit people. That meant even if I didn't like people, I had to have them join the company because that was my job, to go get people to join the company. With EXP, I don't have to like the people in order to help somebody else recruit, because really what I'm doing is I'm helping somebody else get what they want. So I'm actually retaining, I'm not recruiting. Are you tracking with me on that? Well, how do we get from just joining the company where we're going to be focused on attraction to get to where we can help others recruit and we're really retaining them? Well, here's how you do it. We got to get this right here, time on task. And the challenge with our company is I think a lot of people are coming over and they think, let's go do this. Let's go do an Ironman. And for most of us, rev share is an Ironman, meaning it's going to take some time. There's some people like Curtis Johnson, some guys and gals that come along and they just knock it out of the park. Awesome. Good for them. For the rest of us, it's going to take us a little bit of time, because here's why. We've got to get our skill set. We've got to feel confidence, and we like the company. We're not just excited about the money. We've got to feel confident that we like the company. We got to feel comfortable with SkySlope. We got to feel comfortable with the different systems that we have out there, which means we're getting time on task, which means we're experimenting. We're still finding our ways amongst the land. And then here's what happens. You get some victories, meaning let's say that you close a deal and you realize, hey, SkySlope and all the systems that we have in place, it actually helps me serve my clients at a higher level. So then what happens is we get some confidence. So if you're worried about coming over here and just jumping all on board, I'm going to encourage you to take a step back and just work on attraction. Once you get skill set, time on task, experimentation, you get the victory and you get confidence. Now, keep in mind, phase one took Hank 18 months. 18 months. Now, here's the other thing that I want you to see. If you're in a position where you're a great agent, you've come over here because you're interested in that stuff, spend 3 to 5 hours a week. Now, here's why this is important. Many of you still need to sell houses. Many of us still need to sell houses. And if you come over and you get distracted by this, chances are what's going to happen is you're not going to get enough traction soon enough, and you're going to draw the arrow too far back. Meaning it's kind of like going to the gym. When you go to the gym, you can't just go in and lift all the weights like instantly. It's going to take you time. So with me, it took 18 months. It took 18 months until I got my first victory. But once I got the first victory, it was like, oh, wow, now I have confidence around this. And this compresses down. This is where I want to start making points. It took me 18 months to have this compressed down. And now we got the foundation. And if we look at this, what some of us try to do is we try to build too fast before we have that foundation. So phase one compresses down and that helps build the foundation. Now what we're doing is we're building phase two. So phase two for me is once I got the victory, I said, okay, now we have math. This is no longer experimentation. This is now activities. Well, so now that I identified the activities, I had math behind what I was looking to accomplish. It's like, hey, if I do 50-25-1, and then once there's an actual conversation, I believe that EXP is a good fit, what I do is I bring it up. It's kind of like when, before I met my wife, if I saw a girl that I was interested in, what I was like, hey, what's up? Okay, hopefully I was smoother than that. My point is what happens is through these dialogues, you get to understand who may or may not be the right fit, and then you lean in. When you used to lean in for a kiss and they didn't lean back in, what you did was you backed off, right? So what I realized through studying the activities, I didn't need to change any of my activities. I just needed to keep going 3 to 5 hours a week. Because by me increasing the activities, it wasn't necessarily going to change the results, because it's kind of like doing an Ironman. I don't need to work out 40 hours a week. I just need to do my 3 to 5 hours a week consistently, and the results will keep coming. So here's where I might lose some of you. I stayed in phase two until I got to phase one income. Now stick with me. Now everybody has different phases of income, and I like breaking these down in different phases, and here's why. For example, when I first jumped ship, my wife and I had to make $10,000 in order to not go backwards. Our phase two income was $12,500, and at $15,000, we could breathe a little bit, pay our taxes, have a little bit extra left over. And as long as we didn't do anything stupid, we've won the game. Now, that can also be 3 phases of the success code. So now our numbers are a little bit larger. Phase one is more like 20,000. Phase three is 30,000 plus. Because you know what? I kind of like having fun in life. And I digress. Stick with me. Until phase two got to my phase one income, which was $10,000 a month, I just kept doing that 3 to 5 hours a week. So if you look at this, I've been able to build everything that we've done in EXP, and I've tracked every single hour since January 1st, 2016 that I've worked, spending 3 to 5 hours a week, because what I realized was I identified the 20% that makes 80% of the money. Stick with me on this. Just like in real estate, once you identify the 20% that makes 80% of the money, I want you to be careful on doing that 80%. And this is where the magic comes in for those who choose to join EXP. 36th life. Imagine you can do your number of net life transactions working 20% of the time. So instead of working 30, 40, 50 hours a week selling real estate, you're doing it in 15 to 20. Now you spend that extra time to work on your skill set with EXP, your time on task, your experimentation until you get the victory, and you're spending 80% of your time to get 20% of the results. That's what a new success code is. You're going to be spending more time doing something and not getting the results than what you could with doing what you're already doing. And this is where everything becomes a math equation. So think about this. When I started my coaching business, I spent 80% of my time to get 20% of the results. Then it flip-flopped where I could spend 20% of my time to get 80% of the results. And then I stopped there. Then I brought EXP in. I spent 80% of my time to go get 20% of the results. Then it flip-flopped 18 months once I had a victory. Once I got a victory, I identified the 20% that gets 80% of the results. Now I have the coaching income, spending 20% of my time to get 80% of the results. I have EXP to get 20% of my time to get 80% of my results. I have my digital income to spend 20% of my time to get 80% of the results. Are you seeing where I'm going with this? See, what we're doing is we're teaching you subtraction where we focus on the 20% that gets the 80%. And then with this right here, time on task, that 80% will fill in over time. See, so many of us, what we wanted to do is we're spoiled little brats. We were like, we want it right now. Well, guess what? After 5 years of building out my coaching stuff, now I have products where I have VAs. And one of the reasons I'm doing this video, I have VAs that are putting content together for it. We're doing videos so that we can go sell the course or that we can use it for agent attraction. Like, for example, if you're still watching this, tell me this. Every single problem that I solved in So You Want to Be a Coach and building my own coaching business, I have a topic on. We just went and recorded all of those videos. So any problem, I solved it. So for example, when I wanted to schedule a phone call with someone, it's like, hey, this time works for me. And then they'd be like, well, that doesn't work for me. And then I'd be like, well, and it'd be back and forth. So I was like, I need a scheduling program. So I went and use Time Trade. I used Calendly. I used Schedule once. And I was using all three all at once to see which one would work. So like, I wasn't sure that it would even work. And I'm trying 3 different ones. That was a whole lot of time to get certainty because I didn't have certainty. So if you're looking at building a coaching business, I can help give you certainty. Like I've solved all the problems. Here's what you use for billing and why you use it. Here's why we use Kajabi and why we use it. Here's why we use QuickBooks. Here's why we use ACH. Here's why we do first and last month's rent for coaching clients rather than a year-long contract. Here's why we don't take the money up front. I could save you a whole lot of stupid tax. So if you're interested in that, it's not done yet. We're going to sell that for $2,000. Hold on a minute. Hank, you're going to give all that information away for $2,000? Yeah. It's crazy. If I could pay $2,000 to have all the certainty that I spent 5 years trying to figure it out, I would have been like, you can add a zero to it. It's worth $20,000. In fact, if you go and watch these videos and you actually want to launch a coaching business, it'll save you so much stupid tax. And I'll just share with you why I'm doing it. The avatar of people who want to be a coach are who I want to be in business with EXP. So let me just be transparent here. So let's look at this. People come in, So You Want to Be a Coach? I do the marketing, which is the 50. Hey, are you interested in becoming a coach? They're like, yeah, I'm interested. So then the 20 people come in. 20 people, they buy the program for $2,000. Now, guess what? Some of those most likely will want to be in proximity or in business with me. What do you think is a natural transition? EXP. It's not a bait and switch. It's no different. Help enough people get what they want, you'll get everything that you want. This is a target market of who I'm looking for is people who want multiple streams of revenue. Are you tracking with me? So again, why do I share all this with you? Information is a commodity. Proximity matters. If I'm speaking to you, if I'm throwing something down that clicks with you and you want to get into proximity, message me. We're going to be giving more and more away of this on YouTube. Access to me is going to get harder and harder. And the reason it's going to get harder and harder is because proximity and implementation matters. But the more information we put out there, the more the people that we can help. I think all that makes sense. Anyways, if you watched this far, hopefully you got something from it. Ask me this. What are you doing for the greater good? I love EXP. I want us to be the biggest, baddest, most unbelievable company in the world. And if you do decide to join EXP, especially because you've been talking to somebody else, and I think if you've been talking to somebody else, you should do everything in your power to join through them. And we have a thing called the EXP family tree. You can join us in there. You'll still have proximity to me. Might not be the same. However, I believe in doing the right thing. If you've been talking with someone for quite some time, do everything you can to join through them. Okay, now I'm starting to ramble, getting on my high horse a little bit. I love our company. I think that we can all win and we can all do it honorably. And to get into the Hall of Fame, you've only got to bat 300. So some you'll win, some you'll lose, but I just hope you sleep well at night. All right. On that note, I got to run. Looks like I got some messages. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope your day was awesome as mine. I know my day is awesome when I'm helping people. And today we got to help a lot of people. That was a long video.